Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now what do you think of when you hear 1970s, bell-bottoms, disco and psychedelic prints? Cynthia Liza Gregoire will be taking us back in time to cover the trends from the 1970s, and Theresa Maegan Gregoire will be showing us the makeup trends from the same decade. Hannah Richards will be helping us warm those cold nights with her take on classic chicken and vegetable soup, and I'll be giving you my happy tips on ways to improve your well-being. We also have Jane Wrafter, who's going to be giving guidelines for our carbohydrate intake in her fitness tip, but first we have the news with Excel.
Hello, Chrissy.
Hello, my love.
Hello, viewers.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Are you rocking the 70s today?
I thought I'd do something with my big hair.
Your hair's looking a bit wild.
Yes,
is that like
I hope it's convincing. Yeah, I got the thumbs up from the makeup artist earlier, so
okay.
I think I did do successfully well. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What do you think, viewers? Let us know. Well, I've got some lovely news for you as usual, but I think I'll start off with something quite interesting, I have to say, that I suppose it's a party trick / skill, and this video would actually show us a bit more about it. So that was a young man there who types with his nose, and he was actually able to get the Guinness World Record for the fastest time it took to type with your nose. He managed to type.
I'm gonna try it.
I don't think you can do it on the touch screen, Chrissy.
Yes, you can. Why not?
Are you gonna actually
I want you
attempt
to try
record?
it.
Oh no way! It's
Oh,
not
go on,
happening. Oh
please.
no way!
No.
I'm gonna be here forever. He actually managed to type 103 words with his nose in 47.44 seconds.
Hang on.
And he's a 23-year-old.
Oh God, I've got it wrong already.
No, I think Chrissy just managed
Oh,
to
and I've got
do
makeup
that.
on my iPad. Let me stop.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
Get this, he actually practiced for 6 hours every day for 3 years. And he was actually able to have the world record of 103 words in 47.44 seconds.
Do you actually get money to be in the
I think they kind of get something, but I don't know if you would get
practicing. Imagine doing that.
If he would get money for the rest of his life, but I mean I don't know. I've never really looked into it.
I don't actually know, because I can understand if you get money, you get paid for it, but just
you probably get something for making it, maybe like a little trophy.
Oh wow, all that time.
But it was just really,
brushing your nose on the keyboard.
Yeah, and what he typed was, Guinness World Records has challenged me to type this sentence using my nose in the fastest time. Apparently, he also set the world record for typing the entire English alphabet with his fingers, achieving a time of 3.43 seconds. So I suppose he did the alphabet in 3.43 seconds.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so he managed to do everything. So I suppose it was the whole whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
so in 3.4 seconds.
Well, that's
he
impressive.
Did that. That is impressive. And now he's done it with his snout.
Okay.
Yes. Well, interesting. I have to say it was I had to highlight that. Well, okay. Keeping it in the weird and wacky, a family in France wanted to name their child Nutella.
That's so cruel.
But they were refused by the courts.
Good.
Yes, because they were told that it would be against the child's best interests to be named after the brand. The child was, I think they were initially named, that actually got put on the birth certificate, but it got taken to court and he had to be renamed. And they changed, it doesn't say what they changed it to, but they had to change his name. And a second family, incidentally, wanted to name their child Strawberry. Yeah. Again, the courts thought that
you kind of think the parents have a right to call their child whatever they want to.
But they don't have to go to middle school with that name.
Yeah. Well, my dad almost had a fight with the priest because the priest didn't like my name. He said, because my actual name is Christula, and that's not a very well known name. He goes, no, the priest would say, no, it should be Christina when I was getting christened. And my dad would say, no, it's Christula. And the priest was insistent to call me something else. But my dad won in the end.
Indeed, absolutely.
I've kept the name Christula.
But I think I like unique names, but at the same time, not sort of like on the end of extreme or kind of a bit too weird, because imagine naming your child Nutella, and all sorts of connotations could come from that going on. No, it would just be wrong. That's just target for bullying. I'm sorry. But yes, I have to say I'm glad that didn't win. They didn't actually go through with that. Like remember the time when I talked about the man who named his child Facebook?
Stupid. Honestly.
Seriously. Well, moving on to, I suppose now let's go to something more compassionate. A police officer in America showed compassion on a woman who was actually arrested. Well, she would have been arrested for stealing half a dozen eggs from a supermarket, but he was actually, he actually purchased the eggs for her. This was around Christmas time, actually, incidentally. And he said she was caught stealing the eggs from a dollar store. So, I mean, it would have cost $1. And she explained that she had a niece, 2 daughters, and 2 grandchildren that hadn't eaten since the previous week. So he ended up, said she was quite emotional and she was crying for what she had done. And so he actually ended up paying for the eggs for her. And also, he ended up later on, his fellow officers actually put food together, and they delivered 2 truckloads of food to the woman's house to feed her.
So we have a video, because we did ask the public about the nicest things that anyone's done for them. I think it's quite a nice sort of point to play that, because since you brought it up.
Yes, well.
Shall we take a look, guys?
Let's.
She's really good with making people feel better. Like when I feel bad about university or I'm unsure if I want to continue studying in, she's always like really good with finding the right words to cheer people up again. Yeah.
You know, nothing specific, but in general, I guess, when you're in need, you need someone just like a good hug or a good chat whenever that's available. So it's not one specific thing, but it's a consistent sort of nicety, I suppose.
For you.
I think my mom would like me to say that it's her giving birth to me, which is a pretty nice thing, I would have to say. Big sacrifice, not always easy, so yeah, she's been great.
And she's my best friend. She's always there for me, so her existence is the nicest thing ever. So yeah.
Well, not really anything specific, but you know, she's the nicest person in my life that has always been there, and you know, I guess that's the nicest thing, you know.
She's always there to give me a hug.
Same thing.
I really don't know. Maybe that my boyfriend surprised me with a beautiful ring on holiday. So.
And then I think I should say what she did was growing up as the perfect daughter that she is now. That was really nice.
My old man got me something that I could never forget. I asked him for a concert ticket, which is £40, which we're going to see today. So he says, okay, I'll send me the link and I'll do that. So he sent me the email, asked for my email and sent it to me. Turns out he bought the meet and greet package where I get to meet them, get signatures, everything like that. And I asked him why, and he went, Merry Christmas. So I thought, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, okay. And I'm just over the moon for that, and that's probably one of the nicest things that's ever happened to me, in all honesty.
I guess having him, making him happy.
I know what you're saying, my darling. I feel that way about my hubby. Tell us, what's the nicest thing someone's done for you, Excel?
Oh my gosh. This is going to sound really sad, Chrissy. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. Really? Oh gosh. Ask Megan at the end of the show. You've dropped me now.
I think we need to get the violins out because no one's done anything. I took you to Wales with me.
There you go.
I threw you in the water.
Yeah, you said nicest thing, Chrissy.
I helped you to overcome your fear of swimming. I still can't swim. Never mind. All right, so we're going to go to a break. You're going to have to think of something when you come back, and you can let the viewers know the nicest thing someone's done for you, or one of the nicest things.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Alrighty, guys, so do stay tuned because after the break, it's 1970s fashion and makeup with the Gregoire sisters.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, and now it's back to the 70s with the Gregoire sisters. Hello, girls.
Hi, Chrissy.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's talk makeup and fashion from the 70s.
Yes, let's do. So what was happening in the 70s? Well, there was women's liberation, feminism. There's a lot of influences for, you know, things such as equal wages happening. And believe it or not, that actually had an influence on the makeup industry.
Okay.
So you have women who are pictured in adverts with trousers on, which was a first for Revlon. They advertised a perfume, I think it was called Charlie. And so they definitely took advantage of that. And another way they took advantage of that was kind of marketing things like barely there makeup. So, you know, it's just a different way to kind of sell the same product in a different decade, where you would buy something like a barely there liquid blusher. So really, you know, the matte skin was out. So you didn't want a matte finish. So you go for the dewy foundations, and you wouldn't want to pick a color darker or lighter. You wanted it right, just for some reason, the same color of your skin. So that kind of washed out look was popular. Apparently, so was the tanning, which I think was a bit too excessive. And I think well, I think it was when they were getting the baby oil out and actually going into the sun, and then realized after what, you know, negative impacts that can have. So let's talk about the looks. So we have, you know, colors coming back, blue, I have to say. That was one of the favorites. Greens, purples, those were really key colors. And we had it coming out in mascaras as well. So you would have different color mascaras to play around. So even though we were doing, you know, minimal, barely there makeup, there was impact on the eyes, especially, you know, extremely popular in the disco era was, you know, those sparkly eyes. So you want to get all the glitter, you want to get that bang, big cat eye in there, very dramatic. But when we're picking lipsticks, you know, very common colors were the kind of color of your lips, same tone, and it was a very nice neutral natural color. So the browns and the, you know, pinks were very popular as well. But you can see with Chrissy's makeup here, we did a kind of shadow cat eye. So they still use the liners to draw out the cat eye winged liner. So we got purple, which was very trending. And you can see, Chrissy, your eyebrows are perfect for the 70s trend because they weren't into the big brows. They were definitely into the, you know, more thin brow. So sharpen your eyebrow pencil to get that look. And also, let's just get rid of these false lashes, Chrissy, because those were out with 1960s. So another thing is we have inspirations such as the white liner that we have on Cynthia behind the black liner. This was a very 70s look where, you know, usually of the younger generation and also young women, that they would put that white and emphasize, almost, you know, accentuate that black liner, which was very popular. A color wash, so you would have just one eyeshadow covering the whole lid, but you would always have a highlight underneath of a nice kind of matte white. So I don't know what it was, but you definitely wanted to, you know, just accentuate the brow underneath with that. So again, we have all of these blush colors, not in powders, but in the liquid, so that it was, you know, it was not giving you that washed out look. But we have movies such as The Great Gatsby, where you would still have that kind of bold, smoky look, but with the thin eyebrow. So you would still have that and kind of a doll face look. So, you know, movies like The Boyfriend, they would, you know, inspire those doll face, kind of light pale skin with, you know, those, you know, thin eyebrows. And it was great. So we have, you know, Cher coming in. We had a lot of influence in the 70s. Farrah Fawcett with the hair that's going off of your face. So it was just a great era. I wish I was there. I feel like
we are at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, my love. Thank you so much. And we're going to go over now to the styling. So let's follow Cynthia. Great. So 70s styling, what was it all about, Cynthia?
Yes, all right. Well, 1970s styling, it's all about bell bottoms and angel sleeves, crazy psychedelic patterns. We have polyester, all those synthetic fabrics. Today we're just going to look at some of the ways that you can take inspiration from the 70s, which are trending now, and bring it into the year 2015. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with a few slides just for inspiration. So the first slide that I have here is actually there's Thea Porter. She was a British lady that actually was very influential during the 70s, dressing celebrities here in London. And she actually has a lot of her dresses on at the Fashion and Textile Museum February 6th. So you can actually go there and see some actual garments. That's kind of cool. The next slide that I have, just basically you can see some of the details we'll be looking for today. So you have the bold colors, we've got those polyester pants, they're flared pants, as Megan had said that the women was wearing the pants. And next slide, again, those crazy patterns, that polyester is a must. So I don't know, what do you think about polyester? Chrissy, do you like wearing it? Or I don't really like it because it doesn't breathe, but it's cool because it doesn't rain.
I don't actually know what garments I've got that are polyester, to be honest. I'll just wear them and I don't realise what material
You're
it is.
wearing polyester today.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm going to suffocate?
No. Moving along, we have, I think the next slide is Brigitte Bardot. And so she's lost that 1960s sort of hippie look, and she's now traded in a longer silhouette dress. She's got the angel sleeves there. The hair is a bit darker. Yeah, so you can see this transition in fashion, even through the people who lived through both eras. A couple more slides, I think. This one here is just I Googled British girl in 70s, and here's what I got. And you can see that they have the mini skirt here, not wanting to let go of that from the 60s with the fringe on it. You've got those bell sort of sleeve gather sleeves with polyester yellow and those knee-high boots. Even her glasses and the way she's got her hair parted down the middle, such as myself today, is very, very 70s. So take from that what you will. All right, well, I think that was it for slides, but I'm just going to talk about the styling that I've done on all three of us today. So we'll start with Glam Goddess. We'll start with Chrissy. So Chrissy's today is wearing a Diane von Furstenberg, and Diane von Furstenberg is an American designer that's very famous for still bringing back that 1970s silhouette in 2014. So we've paired it with some new Sam Edelman pumps, and you can see that she's got this like kind of Grecian goddess sort of draping dress in this fabulous blue, as Megan was talking about. When we've paired it with earrings and with your makeup today, it's just very 2015, 1970s.
I'm very comfy too, this one.
It's great. It's polyester.
Okay. I can breathe.
Next we have Megan, and Megan is my disco diva. So the disco was a major part of the 1970s. We've got glam, we've got glitter, we have metallic, and we have sequins. So we've got Sam Edelman pumps, we've got Essential with this lovely pencil sequin skirt. Funny enough, they called this the midi skirt. It was a very fought, people were fighting against it. They wanted to keep the mini skirt, but it's a wonderful silhouette, and she's got that nice disco top with it, and then the hair like Farrah Fawcett. On myself, I went for a more 2015 70s inspired look. So I started with a pair of platforms. I went with a boot cut jean that is slightly flared at the leg. So you can see that there. And you could go with bell bottoms there. And then I went for high-waisted because 1970s was all about the high waist. And I have a t-shirt with just sort of like a 1970s graphic on it. And I did pair it with this fringe jacket, which is, some might say that fringe is a little more 60s, but it's all about taking the best of, the era before it and combining the two.
Okay.
All right.
So we have a lovely row here. And these are
all
your
mine,
clothes.
actually.
Now tell me, Cynthia, where do you actually wear these clothes and when do you wear them? Because I was quite surprised when she told me.
I wear these pretty much every day, I would say. It's just
so you get on the tube wearing these, looking glam. She gets on the tube, she goes to work in these.
I do, and it's all
amazing. Do people stare at you?
A little bit. Some people ask me where I get it, and you know what? I think it's just what you're comfortable in, Chrissy, and like for some reason, I'm comfortable in this. Yeah, this one is like what I was talking about, those angel sleeves, and this one's really pretty in summer actually, with the you can just picture running through a meadow with that. I
want to run through a meadow. We've got those people behind running through a meadow.
Oh yeah, right there. This one here is a bit of like that angel sort of bell sleeve. If you're looking for sort of a 2000 sort of 15 look, a more updated look, you could go with something like this and then just do the earrings and the hair and the makeup 70s, nice, yeah. Right? If you're not into going crazy with the colors and patterns, because to be honest, you're not going to see a lot of black. Like this is what it was like, right? This is actually 1970s. I got this in Toronto. I used to wear this all the time to school. And it's polyester, it works, it is really comfortable. You also have young and upcoming designers. This one by Jonte in North Battleford, and he actually made this dress I've worn on a previous show, and you can just see that huge bell sleeve on there, like quite outrageous, but that is what they wore in the 70s, believe it or not. We have a couple more pieces here. Again, this like angel sleeve dress. Bridget Bardot was wearing something similar to that in the picture that I showed, but you can almost just, it was all about the movement and just kind of floaty sort of frocks.
It looks so comfy as well, that one.
The longer silhouette too, right? So having a longer silhouette on a dress, whereas in the 60s, you just saw all those little mini shift dresses and mini skirts. This one here, again, the wide short sleeve. This one's kind of hard to see because it's got the tight belt on it, but just a lovely color, deep, deep green, as Megan was saying about the greens and the blues. And then you have that long silhouette. Okay, this one actually, you know what? I just bought this at school. There was a vintage fair that came through my school. And this one really here, nice, I chose this one because actually it's very similar to what's trending in spring, summer 15. It's this whole sheer sort of overlay of that crinoline on top. And this one almost looks like very much like a wedding. You could almost see that as a wedding dress kind of thing, but it is just casual dress. Again, you know, when you're buying vintage there, the loops, missing belt, but oh well, it's still a beautiful dress. And
cut that off anyway. Yeah. All right, girls, thank you so much. We have reached the end of this segment. And thanks for taking us back to the 70s. Thank you. All right, well, do stay tuned because after the break, I'm going to be giving you my happy tips on ways to improve your well-being, and we'll have a fitness tip with Jane Wrafter.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show. Always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back everyone. So now it's time for my happy tips, and this week it's how to improve your well-being. Now, as you know, well-being is basically the state of being comfortable, healthy and happy with your life. So research has actually shown that there are 6 ways that you can improve your well-being. Now, the first one is to connect with people. So it's never a good thing to isolate yourself. You know, even if you're going through a few things and you don't feel like talking to people, still get yourself out there. So, you know, have some connection with your family, with your friends, even with colleagues at work and neighbours. So don't stay by yourself. And at the same time, you feel better talking to people and you can learn so much from other people. Have a laugh and feel that you're actually part of something. Number 2 is give. So we did play the video earlier of showing, you know, asking people what's the nicest thing anyone's done for them. So do something nice for people. Maybe it's a friend or even a stranger, even like a simple thank you. Your bus driver, for example, how many times do we get on the bus and we just ignore the bus driver? But if you actually take time, even if they were a bit grumpy, if you take time to smile and say hello or say thank you when you get off the bus, that could make a world of difference to someone's day. You can volunteer your time, for example, to charity. And if you say, you know, but that person doesn't deserve it, maybe they're just going through a hard time and just a little bit of attention from you could change their mind, can make them react differently as well. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be anything major or a big gesture for it to make a difference in someone's life. Even small things go a long, long way. Number 3 is to take notice. Now, we hear a lot about mindfulness. So appreciate the things around you. Sometimes we just rush through life and we don't really kind of take in what we're doing. A simple example is when you're eating your food, for example. I was actually reading an article today that if you want to lose weight successfully, you shouldn't be on your iPad or doing something while you're eating. You need to sort of step back and think about what you're eating, you know, realize what you're doing. Don't have your mind elsewhere, and actually you'll get fuller quicker. So that's just in an example of food. But you should be aware of your surroundings. How many times, for example, maybe have you walked down the street or in a park and you're busy on your phone or you're thinking about other things? Just be aware of nature, of the trees, of the birds singing. It's so so lovely, and you could be missing it. So appreciate your environment. And actually, I once really disliked England when I was younger, because I was always brought up by my dad to say, you know, we're not going to stay in England. It's not a nice place to live. We're going to move to Cyprus. So I grew up really disliking London until a friend said to me once when I was older, oh, you know what, I've been to so many places and London's the most beautiful city in the world for me. And that made me start looking at things in a different way. And today I love London, I love England. There's so many lovely places. So just be aware of your environment and appreciate what you have around you, and you'll be a lot happier. Before I continue, let's just go to this fitness tip with Jane, and then I'll be back to talk about a few more things that can improve your well-being.
Hi everyone, it's Jane here with your fitness tips. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your nutrition today. So I want to specifically talk to you about carbohydrates. Now, in the last few years, they've had a bad press, and most people will have heard of the Atkins diet, which asks you to eliminate all carbohydrates. My personal view is it's better to have a balanced diet, to have a nice, healthy, balanced diet, and perhaps to reduce carbohydrates and increase protein, fruit and vegetables. So if we take carbohydrates in its simplest form to mean things like potato, rice and pasta, those are the most common forms in which we take in carbohydrates. And do you know, even though it's healthy and good for you, most people often end up eating too many carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is the food that gives you energy. So if you think about it, if you're eating in the evening and then you're just resting on the sofa, you don't need a lot of energy. It's like having your car just running on idle at a red light. Okay, so you don't need a lot of energy to do that. If you're going 70 miles an hour up the fast lane, you need more fuel. It's the same thing for your body. So if you're not training hard, have a small amount of carbohydrates. They're good for filling you up. A general rule is to have a fist-sized portion of carbohydrates, which is actually quite small. So if you're trying to lose weight, my advice is reduce the amount of carbohydrates that you eat. Don't eliminate them, reduce them. Increase the protein. So don't just have a tiny little piece of protein, which would be your chicken, your fish, eggs, nuts, whatever it is that you're eating. Increase that. Load up your plate with vegetables and salad and fill up on that, and you should, with any luck, shed some body fat. So good luck with that. See you next time.
Thanks for the great advice, Jane. Okay, so let's now go back to my happy tips on ways to improve your well-being. So number 4 is to keep learning. Now, how many times have we seen, and also research has also proven that, you know, as a person gets older, if they stop learning, normally their health starts to go downhill. But if they keep doing something, if they keep learning something new, people actually live longer. So try something new, whatever your age. You can rediscover an old interest. You can sign up for a course, for example. You can maybe do something even different at work that's going to keep you kind of occupied and excited about the future. Maybe you can learn how to cook your favorite food. And you can, you know, I like to challenge myself with things sometimes and try different things. So that's why you see me doing some challenges on the show sometimes. So just keep your mind active, learn new things, and it will make you feel more confident, and you'll have fun too. So number 5 is to be active. Now, this one is so obvious, but unfortunately many people do neglect, you know, even just to go for a walk. So try and get active, go for a walk or a run, go outside, dance. If you like to dance, just put some music on in your bedroom and just move, so you're not just, you know, sitting at your desk the whole time. Now, recently I got an app on my phone that actually measures the amount of steps that I make, and you're supposed to aim for 10,000 a day. And I realized how little I do actually walk during the day, because I think the first day I just clocked up about 2,000, and the recommended is like 10,000 steps. So I've started to try and walk around more, go upstairs. So, you know, you really should sort of invest, even if it's just walking more to the, I don't know, instead of taking the bus, you walk, you're getting the exercise, and it's good for your mental health. And number 6 is all about caring. So look after your community and your environment. I really hate seeing when people just kind of like have a can or something, or some kind of litter, and they just throw it on the floor. it doesn't make things pleasant for anyone. We've all got to live in the mess. So start looking after your environment, use the litter bins, be environmentally friendly, and you'll actually feel better for it as well. Okay, so I think we may have about a minute left or so we can go to Excel quickly for, I think, one news item, Excel.
Certainly, Chrissy, I have more news here. I'm sure our viewers will remember when I talked about the young man who wanted somebody to travel with him to take the place of his girlfriend on the ticket that unfortunately she couldn't go on after they split up. Well, we found someone, like I've already reported, and now this is the, what happened thereafter. Well, he went with this young lady, Elizabeth Gallagher, who's 23, and Jordan, who's 28. They went had this world holiday where she went from Milan to New York and Vienna. Apparently, she sees him as a brother, despite all of these romantic places they went to. Well, I should hope so, because the girl already had a boyfriend. Well, she actually said, we probably got along better because we were strangers. We didn't have a relationship to break, said Elizabeth. He had offered this ticket, just to recap, to anybody who was from the same country, which is Canada, as well as having the same name. So we have some photos here. I mean, this one here shows, that looks like a massive lobster or crab or whatever that is. And, probably got her to pick out what she wanted to eat at a very fancy restaurant there. And we also have, and that looks like part of a fair or theater or something. So this was all posted on Twitter, just to kind of show how this was going around the world, which is absolutely fabulous. The trip, like I said, started on the 21st of December and ended on January 8th. So I'm glad Miss Gallagher's boyfriend's glad to have her back now. Fab. Another young lady I've managed to come across, Faye Campbell. She has a very weird eating habit, I would say, because she chooses McDonald's over any homemade meal. Because apparently she's never touched a green vegetable or a piece of fruit. I think Jane will have a few words for you, young lady.
Jane and Chrissy and Hannah.
And myself as well, because it's ridiculous. Apparently she is, I think she's now 23. Her name is Faye Campbell. But she actually manages to stay a very trim 9 stone, 12 pounds.
But she's fat inside.
Well, this is the thing. I think she must be clogged up. Exactly.
Definitely. She's only young, but it will take effect.
She apparently lives in Suffolk, and she says the thought of eating vegetables makes me sick. And she can't put anything near her mouth. Even when her mother is cooking, she has to leave the room, and she actually has to have pizza for lunch, cheeseburgers for dinner, and all of that. So.
Oh, thank you very much, Excel.
Indeed.
You're going to join me after the break, aren't you? Because we do have some more news, and also we have a lovely recipe from Hannah Richards. Stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to go across to Excel in just a moment with some more news. But as you know, eating healthily can also help your mental health immensely. So Hannah Richards making chicken and vegetable soup in a very healthy way. Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to the MTS Kitchen. My name's Hannah and this is Ben, and today we're going to show you how to make a chicken and vegetable seasonal soup. We're going to start with our vegetable prep, and I've already just cut down some carrots, white potatoes and sweet potatoes. This is 500 grams of chicken breast, and I'm just slicing it up so that it cooks quicker. So let's just put that, I'm going to take that garlic, that pan's hot. So this is just sort of our base. You could use a red onion, you could add some chili in here. So with the chicken, just make sure that it's all nice and browned you're sort of searing the chicken and keep it moving around the pan so that all that beautiful pink breast turns to white. Once the chicken breast is all white, then we can start to add the mushrooms to it. Let's get those veg bubbling up. Okay, Ben, ready for those mushrooms?
Mushrooms straight in?
Yeah. And I'm just going to turn the heat down now on those because the chicken's done. A bit of sea salt. Don't be scared of salt, remember, as long as it's not kitchen salt. Table salt. And some black peppercorns, white peppercorns or red peppercorns. And you can always test. You can always have a little test to see whether that chicken's done or not. Just take a piece out. So we're going to leave that to the side and have a little look at our veg. Okay, so now the vegetables are done. So I'm going to turn them down. And the chicken's done too. So all we need to do now is put it all in the Magimix. So this was 500 grams of chicken breast. You can use the thigh if you're more of a leg person. And we added garlic, some shallots, and some mushrooms. This juice is where the flavor comes from. We're gonna add our carrots, sweet potatoes, and white potatoes. Now the water from the vegetables is now full of all your good nutrients and vitamins, so we don't want to throw away that water. You might find that sometimes when you're doing a roast dinner, you use the water from the vegetables to make the gravy. So we're just going to put all that in there. Depending on how chunky you want it, depends on how long you keep your finger on the button. Okay, so then all we're going to do, actually what I thought I'd just do is throw a bit of spinach in for some green on the top. Because spinach just takes, no time to cook, you can wilt it down. Just the heat of the food will wilt the spinach in here.
It's a nice chunky soup.
And then to top it off with some garnish, I'm going to just put a few bits of chive on top. Some red, yellow and black peppercorns. A touch of our favourite sea salt. 2 spoons. And we're ready for lunch.
Perfect.
Seasonal chicken and vegetable soup. Beautiful.
Or dinner in our case, right?
I know, gosh, looking at that now, I just want to tuck it.
And nice and healthy too.
Indeed.
All right, Excel, we have some more news.
Yes, I do. A young lady made an impression on a stranger recently where her son was very well behaved on the train. Her name is Sammy Welch, 23, of Plymouth. She was given a reward, I should say, because she was branded a credit to her generation because she traveled on the train with her 3-year-old son Ryan, and he was very well behaved. The young mum was given a £5 note by a man who wrote on a separate sheet of paper, said, "Have a drink on me, you're a credit to your generation, polite and teaching your little boy good manners. P.S. I have a daughter your age, someone did the same thing for her once, and I hope she has children. I hope when she has children, she'll be as good as a mother as you." And he also, he sort of gave it to her, but he passed it on to her as if she dropped something. He didn't sort of like hand it to her like money outright. He left the note there on the side on the table for her, because he noticed that when some people got on the train, a gentleman particularly got on the train, she actually got the young boy to get off the seat and sit on her lap. And the boy didn't argue or anything like that. He was very well behaved. And she said she was on the train from Birmingham to Plymouth, and this man must have got off in Bristol, she said. and it was in the evening. So right now, actually, she's trying to locate him and trying to find out who he is, because she says it was very kind of her.
Aww.
And that she was also entertaining Ryland throughout the busy service.
See, we're talking about acts of kindness.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way.
Indeed.
What's the nicest thing anyone's done for you? You didn't tell us, Excel.
Well,
have you thought of at least one thing?
I know. I think one thing that definitely I was very, very. It may seem like a little thing, but I have to say, because I work with in a difficult kind of job setting, and I think knowing that a client that I've worked with was very appreciative of what I've sort of helped them to achieve. I think that was very heartwarming for me, because she ended up buying me a fob watch and actually had it engraved with my name on it.
That's nice.
And I have to say it was very, very nice, and I did enjoy that. And I think I hold that very, very dear. So yes, that's one thing I could think of. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You see, there was something. You just needed time to think about it.
You just put me on the spot. I'm not used to this. I have to rehearse my lines. Well, but yeah, so so I think I'm going to follow this, because this is somebody we need to also track down. And speaking of tracking down, this is another love story here. A Crystal Palace fan launched a quest for his lost love because he took a selfie with her on the train when he went to watch his side play. He apparently, this young lady had an Italian accent, and she had borrowed.
Oh, he just met her randomly, you mean?
He met her randomly on the train. So she apparently had an Italian accent and had borrowed his scarf for a mutual selfie. And so now he kind of, he said he realized that he didn't ask for her number. And so he tweeted the train company to help to find his romantic quest. But silly old me, I forgot to put his photo in. So I'm going to have to help you launch your appeal maybe next week.
Do we have a picture of her?
No, I actually had a picture of them together, but I forgot to include it in my file.
Oh man, I'm curious now.
I know, but I can make a brief mention next week. Okay. I'm all in the support of love. So, but apparently his tweet got viral.
Let's just hope she's single. Did he even check?
Well, I think she was, but I think they were kind of flirting with each other a little bit, because I think he, But I have to say, the tweet went viral as usual. By halftime, apparently it was retweeted 30 times, and by full time it was over 100.
Gosh.
So so this is it. But it's fabulous. But now it's over 3,000 retweets.
Wow.
Which means
I'm just glad to see it at some point.
Probably find her. Yeah, probably find her soon.
Got time for one quick one.
Okay, I've got a funny video here. If we cue this, and I'll explain thereafter.
Got a Joy. No, got a Joy in Raleigh, North Carolina. Good morning.
Hey, somebody from down south.
Well, you're right. I'm from down south.
Oh God, it's Mom.
And I'm your mother. And I disagree that all families are like ours. I don't know many families that are fighting at Thanksgiving.
Is this really your mother?
No, you're her mom.
Yeah. I was very glad that this Thanksgiving was a year that you two were supposed to go to your in-laws, and I'm hoping you'll have some of this out of your system when you come here for Christmas. And I love you both.
Hey, now let me jump in, because this was not planned. She called in on the normal line. So, but since you did call in, Mrs. Woodhouse, what's it like to raise these two boys?
Well, it hadn't been easy. And they're both very passionate about what they believe in, and I love that about them. But I hope that they just kind of get this out of their system today on your program.
By the way,
that is wishful thinking.
Are you a Democrat or Republican, Mrs. Woodhouse?
Well, I am a registered Democrat. That's many years ago, but I have, at times split my ticket.
Joy, thank you for the call, and again, this was not planned, but we're glad to hear from you.
All right,
thanks, Mom.
We'll see you back home soon.
See you this weekend.
Oops. I think it was actually quite hilarious, because their mother just randomly called in on the line. You know how the political programs are, call in and give us your opinion. And their mother just called up and they said, oh, someone from down south. The mum was like, yeah, I am your mother. It's like, stop bickering, come home for Christmas and get that out of your system.
You see, she just wants people to get along. Well, we have to leave it there, Excel. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Right, guys at home, if you want more information about the guests we've had on the show today, or if you want to find out more about us and what we do, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And also, if you'd like to email me, it's chris@chrissybshow.tv. But don't forget as well to make someone's day, even if it's something small. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.